All right, let's open it up for questions. Raise your hand and we will get a mic to you.
Maybe get the lights on.
As we pass it around, please give it up for our panelists. Patrick, Dave, Aaron, for coming together. We got one.
I think I saw a hand over there. There's a couple hands.
We'll start down and move up if it's easier. Don't forget your questions. Introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Seth Brubaker. I'm a writer and actor. I love what you guys are coming out with, and it aligns with how I'm seeing, things in real time. Where do you see specifically the writers and the actors' unions in all of this?
We're actively trying to partner with them. We've been reaching out to them to try to see how can we, make this work, because there's a lot of people that are in these unions that can't go and do certain independent, projects. And so we're at the point of people still need to make money, partner with us. Let's figure out how we can make this work. So we are talking to SAG and the Writers Guild. We're still trying to get in on the DGA aspect of it, but we're trying to incorporate them and see how we could, figure it out and make sure that some of our projects, are inclusive of all filmmakers. But the thing too is that, we did our project in SAG, DGA, and our budget was $250K. So we also kind of want to let people know that even if you have a low budget, maybe we could try to strike some of those deals so where some of those fees could come down a little bit to help filmmakers, or I don't know, but that is a conversation we've already started to have. It's really, in their court if they're going to come and, help us and participate, but we definitely see why that is necessary.
Great question.
Copy. Thanks.
All right, who else? Raise your hand
I saw
up
a
high.
hand over here.
Okay, we on here.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Hi. My name is Danny Stevens. I've been in the film business for 33 years. I think the main thing, two-part question, is the idea of deferred payments been around for decades. I remember when I got into business, scraping for film jobs, and they're like, well, you will get paid this rate when the movie makes money.
Yeah.
And that was it was a common thing back then. And then the common thread would be you never hear from them again.
It didn't make any money. So,
and then you see it like, one of the most successful horror movies of all time, and they're like, wait, that was a deferred bill, deferred contract. I never saw any money. And then you start asking questions. Well, on paper, we didn't make any money. So my question is, who shows if the movie makes money? Like, who's deciphering that?
So, yes, share. So basically, everything, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Upwork or Fiverr, and how there's freelancers on these platforms, and they work, all the transactions still have to go through the platform. So one of the things that we do is to protect the filmmaker. It's like everything, every investment, every payment. So let's say you come on, you have a project, you make your project, you have a small crew, and $300,000, but you end up making $650 or whatever on Hulu. All of those deals have to come through us, because every crew member that signed up on our platform to share in your project, whether they took a lower rate or their full rate for their labor, we have to make sure that Hulu doesn't give you the check, because you could just leave the country and no one gets paid on that. So all the crew members that are on your project will get an email. Hey, there's money in your wallet, this happened, blah, blah, blah. With those type of contracts in the past, where you sign up, you get the deferred payment. So the 50%, the investors get their money back first, and then whatever is left over is, split. Those deals are typically still the same type of formats we're gonna use, but it's also gonna be different, because we're dealing with a lot of independent filmmakers. And like Christopher Nolan, his first film, he just got a group of friends together. They shot every Saturday. Nobody had money. Our idea is to say, whether you have a budget, low budget, no budget, come here, negotiate all of this, because we have a legal team. And before we even started this, just so you guys know, we're with Oric Law. And the first thing we did with their tech division is like, is this even possible? Like, how can this legally work? And he's like, look, Fiverr, Upwork, you're not reinventing the wheel. You're just doing something different in a different industry. But it does work, and you just, all those legalities will be terms and conditions that people have to sign, but it does have to come, we have to keep it in our home, and we will now be liable for that, because we have to make sure that everyone gets paid. We can't trust filmmakers to take money and keep running, you know?
Second part of the question is, now correct me if I'm wrong, there's two ways to invest. You can invest money into a project, or you can invest your time into a project. Is that correct?
Yes. So as a project creator, you could join share. You could put your project on the platform. And let's say your uncle gave you $200,000. You could say, we got this much, but because this is low budget, we have a backend points calculator. So every crew member that you add to the platform, you'll be able to put how many points that you like to distribute. And then, you know, it's low budget. So if I'm a crew person, let's say I'm a gaffer and I want to join, I could submit myself if it's a public project, because you have the choice to do that too. You could keep it private and you can go and look for your crew yourself so no one knows, or you can make it public and people in that area can know all about your project and submit to you, right? So they submit to you, hey, I'm this, you're like, hey, great, you know, this is wonderful. If you have funding, you don't need to do an equity crowdfunding campaign. If you don't, you can have a link on your project that says we're looking for people to invest. We're not doing the regular antiquated crowdfunding. It's more of the equity. And we've actually partnered with WeFunder. We actually had a call with them, and verbally they're like, we're in and we'll give your filmmakers a discount. So we're looking to try to, you know, help people invest in that way too. So
Thank you very much. I think it's great.
yeah, of
Thank
course.
you.